to be a very rainy week. I mean, we need the rain, but oh gosh, boy, pressure. So let me say good morning, as always, to Mr. and Mrs. Giuseppe, Mr. and Mrs. Regis. Morning, Angie. Morning to Mano, Uma, Nova. Good morning to you. To Davia Andrews, good morning. And also, happy belated birthday greetings go out to Davia, who celebrated her birthday a couple of days ago, and I trust that it was a memorable one. Good morning to Mother Tuna Puna, to Patsy Edwards, Nicole Caesar. Morning to you, Alison Samuel, and also Louise Mathura. Good morning, Miss Monica. Morning to you. Well, I see the live streams are up, Facebook, YouTube, so you can join us there for those of you who normally join us there. Good morning to Carol Myers. I see she is on Facebook. And Neve Nicholas, good morning to you as well. Right. Let me just hook this up here. So it's already 11:18 or thereabouts, so I hope the phone lines are up and running this morning and they don't give me any stress. So I crave your indulgence this morning just to play a little bit of the Miss Leader of the Opposition. I know it's very, very difficult to listen to her, as always, because it was difficult for me to it was difficult for me to listen to her too. But on, I think it was Friday night, yes, the Kamla Star Team caravan rolled into Penal. As you know, today is their internal election where the members of the UNC will be casting their ballots. Well, not to elect a political leader, really. It's just simply to reinstall or reaffirm Kamla Persad-Bissessar as the political leader. All right. Today's exercise, as far as I'm concerned, today's election, as far as I'm concerned, is an exercise in futility, really. They love to call the PNM a cult, but we know it's a foregone conclusion that she is going to retain the leadership. The majority mightn't be so great this time as it was in previous years, if only because, the rain saw it fit to fall today and perhaps put a damper on the blight that is her leadership and by extension the party under her leadership. So, they say the only thing rain to stop is cricket, but given the fact that the UNC is a highly rural party, and with this, in the rural areas of Trinidad and Tobago, when rain falls, you tend to have a lot of flooding and so on. Persons may be more preoccupied with securing their homes rather than going out to cast a ballot, and what most persons would regard as simply being, just a farce. But you never know. Cult. They pay her obeisance, they call her queen, they call her mother of the nation and all this sort of thing. And whatever she says goes. So some of them might be willing to brave the weather to run out and cast their ballot for her and her slate. So poor Fuad Khan stood no chance, but as he said, he knows he didn't stand a chance anyway, but he thought he would still throw his hat in the ring to give those who are fed up of Kamla Persad-Bissessar an alternative. So we'll see how that goes. Let me just hook this up here and play some of this for you, right? And again, as I do every week, I always have to highlight. If hypocrisy was a party, it would be the UNC. And if hypocrisy was an individual, it would be Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Let me see. Okay. Just give me 1 sec here, folks. Right. No, Angie, I'm not off here. I'm just looking for something here. Yeah. So let me see here. Yeah, so just bear with me for 1 second, folks. I'm just trying to locate what it is that I want to play for you guys. So, right. Right. Good. Yeah, so I was making the point. Just, you usually have to take gravel to listen to Mrs. Prasad Bisesa. So I gave you all fair warning, right? So I know some people really can't take listening to her, but let me just play a little bit.
You want to say Section 34 was UNC trying to save who won in and who were they? Who ha? To save Quite Young and Ferguson. Who? UNC. But who was the lawyer for Quite Young for 5 years? So this man really needs some help. I'll send him to find a doctor to help him. And so you lost your memory. I know you don't remember. You want to call up Section 34 when you were the lawyer for the people who were being charged and prosecuted in the court. So don't come and blame me for Quite Young and Ferguson and UNC. You were their lawyer fighting to save them. So, look, we have a track record from 2010 to 2015. We did so much, as others would have told you, and we'll continue to tell you, because it's always good to repeat good news. We improved the lives of so many children, of so many persons, jobs, minimum wage, laptops, school books, gate program, TIM, 106 schools, health centers, hospitals. You see there's lying thief in PNM. They want to claim the Arima Hospital. That is our hospital. They want to claim Point Fortin Hospital. That was built by Jerlin John, Rudal Mulila, and the partnership government. And let's come to the Cuba Hospital. They're so wicked. They changed the name. These people have a thing with names, it appears. Huh? They changed the name of the Cuba Children's Hospital to call it some other name, as if to say it's them built it. We built that Cuba Children's Hospital. And no amount of fudging and lying will take away that achievement. You know what will always remain your legacy, Rowley? Is your shameless failure to fully operationalize that hospital. You see every day parents crying that children need medical attention to go abroad. They wouldn't give them the money. I will never forget that Faris Al-Rawi was asked for an opinion as a then AG whether, Barry, a child qualified to get the Children's Life Fund. He never gave the legal opinion. The child died before Faris ever answered that. I want to commit today for the children of our nation that we will amend the Children's Life Fund Act. Because nothing is as painful, nothing is as horrible to watch your child suffering and you cannot help them. Cannot help them. So I promise you, when you put us back in office, not if, when, we will change the Children's Life Fund Act so that more children will be able to access it.
Right, so that was the first part of what I wanted to play for you, right? There's another part that I also want to play, which I'll play shortly. But I wanted to highlight two things that she said there, right? So the clip started off with her calling the Attorney General a liar. In fact, they have now changed his name from Reginald Amo to Reginald Limo. Yes? And she used that new name several times, but you heard what she said, that he lying and lying and lying again. And right after that, having accused the Attorney General of being a liar, Kamla Laishila Prasad Bisesa, that is my new name for Laishila. You heard her lie there, right? That the PNM, the lying PNM, wants to take credit for the Arima Hospital, and that is their hospital. The UNC turned the sod. Kamla Prasad Bisesa turned the sod for the Arima Hospital on the 7th of May 2015. Let me repeat that date for the benefit of the members of the illiterati who are logged on. The 7th of May 2015, exactly 4 months to the date of the general election, which was the 7th of May of September 2015. 4 months later, right? They turned sod on May 7, 2015. So the Arima Hospital was built in 4 months. The Arima Hospital is a prefab hospital. Is that the case? Because we know the length of time it normally takes from when you turn sod to actually start construction. But she just told you, you all just heard her say there, that they built the Arima Hospital. That is their hospital. So the Arima Hospital built in 4 months, right? But she want to accuse and call other people liars. That is the woman that you all are going to re-elect as your leader today. She goes on to say that that Jolene John and Rudy Munilal built the Point 14 Hospital. The sod was turned for the Point 14 Hospital on the 21st of May 2015. 2 weeks after they turned the sod for the Arima Hospital. So they built the Arima Hospital in 4 months and they built the Point 14 Hospital in 3.5 months. Right? Because they demitted office on the 7th of September 2015. Wow. Yes. And you heard what she said, that that hospital was built under Jolene John and Rudal Munilal. But just 1 minute before, she accusing the Attorney General and calling him a liar. Who is the liar? Well, you just heard there for yourself. An inveterate liar is what Kamla Prasad Bisesa is. Kamla Laishila Prasad Bisesa. She lies with impunity. She lies with impunity. And as Pandey said, her tongue should have tied up in her mouth. But you see, when you listen to her and how she pronounced some of her words, it's clear that her dentures need adjusting. Because later on in the clip, I'll see if I can pull up that part, where she talks about how she went on Friday and she spoke with some of the workers of Lake Asphalt. Now, to the best of my ability, or the best of my knowledge, the word asphalt only has one H. But like her misaligned dentures added a new H to it, so it's now Lake Asphalt. And of course, the members of the literati who support her and who will be going to re-elect her as political leader today, because she says Lake Asphalt, bet your bottom dollar that all of them will start to pronounce it Lake Asphalt too, because she says that is how you pronounce it, so that is the word. They're going to add a H to it. But the PNM is a content. If Rowley say the sky purple but the sky blue, they will say it purple. Right? But you hear her lie. They built the Arima Hospital in 4 months, and they built the Point 14 Hospital in 3.5. But all they want to call Dr. Rowley liar, liar. You see? But when we call all dunce, all vex. And that is what you always support. And tell us that that is the alternative to the PNM. That is the alternative to Keith Rowley or whoever leads the PNM. Well, for real? Really? But you know, they can't defend that. You hear it for yourself. She's a damn blasted liar. Worse than Christopher Columbus. I calling her out. She then goes on to talk about the Children's Life Fund. That was their biggest achievement. Cabinet note number 1 of 2010 under the PP. She was so proud of that. They brought legislation for the Children's Life Fund. They did it, eh? That was her pet project. They drafted the legislation, not the PNM. PNM wanted nothing to do with that. And in that legislation, they made it explicit that only children with life-threatening diseases or ailments could qualify for funding. They put that in the legislation. But now, she wants to come and try and put the blame on the PNM to say that she gives you her word that they are going to amend the legislation. Madam, there ought not to be any need to amend any legislation. Because if this was your pet project, and you so care about children, then the original legislation should have clearly stated that children who are terminally ill and also those who are not. But now you want to talk about when you come back in office, not if, but when you come back into power, you're going to amend the legislation so that it could accommodate children who don't have life-threatening ailments. So you didn't think about that before? For the 5 years, 3 months, and 14 days you were in office, that didn't occur to you? That didn't occur to the best Attorney General, Anand Ramlogan? But now you want to come and say, well, all this government had to do was to just amend the legislation. That was your legislation. You should have done it in the first place. You didn't do that. You made the law, you put it in the law that only children with terminal illnesses could qualify. And then you want to talk about the Kuva Children's Hospital, and you build that hospital for the children so that you wouldn't have to spend scarce money and precious money to send them abroad, and you could do it here. But you all were trying to save money. Trying to save money with respect to that issue of children with terminal illnesses going abroad. When rather than sending them to get the best treatment in the United States or Canada, you all were sending them to a hospital in Colombia. Or was it Costa Rica? I think it was Costa Rica. Yeah. A hospital that it was known had a bad reputation. A hospital that had received international rebuke. You all sent children there, resulting in the loss of 6 children died at that hospital. 6. And then the man who was in charge of the Children's Life Fund at the time, who is now, I believe, the Member of Parliament for Faizabad, in a newspaper article in The Guardian, and he said, well, hey, 6 out of 100 and something children, 6 lives lost out of 100 and something lives saved. That's not too bad. Yeah? That's not so bad. Yeah, so 6 children dead, that's all right. Tell that to the parents of those 6 children now. Well, you was trying to save money, and yeah, you was scrimping on the money to send the children to get proper care in the US. But when it came to whining and dining, oh, you had no problem spending any money. 20 million on happiness campaign, you had no problem with that. 175 million for a piece of land valued at 52, you didn't have any problem with that. 53 million for a building in Barata that we still can't find, you had no problem spending that money. But to save the lives of those 6 children, you had a problem. Well, and the others who were fortunate enough that perhaps their ailment was such that they were able to survive, notwithstanding being sent to that hospital. Yeah, but if you had take a little bit of all that money that you waste, that you all squandered, just a little bit of that, and send those children perhaps to a better jurisdiction, better hospitals, perhaps today they might have been alive. As citizens of this country, they were entitled to that money, like Sheila. They were entitled to that. But you and your cohorts of clowns saw it fit to spend it elsewhere, yeah, to fatten the pockets of friends, families, and financiers. So today, 6 parents are without their children. Why? Because all they decided to be cheap when it came to the lives of these children. But you have the audacity to come and talk about the Kuva Children's Hospital and claim hospitals that you all didn't build. So apparently now when you just turn southern, you add some water, some yeast, some salt, some black pepper, some sugar, and clap twice, stand up on one foot, and the next morning a hospital appear. That's how it is work? Really? Okay. Give me 1 sec. Let me get the other part that I wanted to play here. To demonstrate to you the hypocrisy of the UNC. I'm going to pull it up here. Hold on.
we have to pay the increased wages and the back pay, he will have to borrow billions of dollars. But Rowley, you donkey fool. Mistakes, but then who hasn't? We're only human. I'm only a woman. And in spite of all the hardship, each time I have come back.
Right. You all heard what she called the Prime Minister there, right? Rowley, you are a donkey fool. Yes. That was the leader of the opposition, referring to the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago as a donkey fool. But just a couple weeks ago, this same individual, it took her 9 days to be offended, 9 days to feel insulted by Camille Robinson Regis calling out her full name of Kamla Sushila Prasad Bisesa. The whole of the UNC, it took them 9 days to take issue with Camille Robinson Regis, the Minister of Housing, calling Kamla Prasad Bisesa by her full name, Kamla Sushila Prasad Bisesa. That was so egregious. According to UNC Potong number 1, Marsha Walker, it was insulting that Mrs. Regis insulted the leader of the opposition, right? That she was attacked because Camille Robinson Regis called her by her full name. And that could not go unanswered. So a whole set of them, the UNC Women's League had to put out a press release denouncing Mrs. Regis. You had Potong number 2, David Naked, he did a live. Potong number 1, Marsha Walker, she did a live. Potong number 3, he's Potong number 1 plus the dog liar deciding to put his 2 cents in it too. And then you had several men and women of letters, according to former President Carmona. These men and women of letters who saw it fit, those who are neither fish nor fowl, so they're not PNM or UNC, but they felt that what Mrs. Regis did, again, was so egregious that they needed to put finger to keyboard and send letter to the editor calling for Mrs. Regis to apologize to Mrs. Prasad Bisesa. Apologize for what? Still don't know. For calling her by her full name. Well, it's a good thing Mrs. Regis did that, because since then, every time Mrs. Prasad Bisesa mounts a platform, she calling out her full name. So she wants everybody to know how proud she is of her full name. But she wasn't proud before. Before Mrs. Regis mentioned it, she wasn't proud to talk about it. Now every time she has to talk and reference herself, is always, I, Kamla Sushila Prasad Bisesa. Even when she took the oath, the many times that she's taken the oath as a member of parliament or as a prime minister or whatever, she never saw it fit to mention her middle name. But now, you see it fit every time, because you're proud now. Well, you all should be praising Mrs. Regis for doing what she did. But I also mentioned on that night that Laurel Lezama Leasing had also mentioned Mrs. Prasad Bisesa's full name about 3 times. How come nobody took umbrage to Laurel Lezama Leasing, but all they took issue only with Mrs. Regis, right? Again, it goes to highlight the hypocrisy, all your foolishness, playing fast with foolishness. Right? But here it is, that the leader of the opposition who was so offended by her full name being called, you just heard her call the Prime Minister a donkey fool. Yeah? A donkey fool. Where are all the men and women of letters who were quick to jump to Mrs. Prasad Bisesa's defense? Huh? Where are the letters in the newspapers, the letters to the editor and so on? Where is the outrage on social media? All those of you who found that Mrs. Regis was fast and out of place to call the woman by her whole name. Where's the UNC Potong, Marsha Walker? That wasn't disrespectful. No, that wasn't disrespectful. That was all right. Call him a donkey fool. Prime Minister of the country and the leader of the opposition. That is the example that she is setting. And you hear how the members of the literati who were in the crowd, you hear how they responded? Yeah, yes, he's a whole fool. They clap, they make a certain noise, ring bell, they blow conch shell, all of that. Right? Uplifting. And further to that, they are, this is what I'm looking for, supporting Mrs. Prasad Bisesa in her disrespect of the Prime Minister. You know, if it's one thing they could say all kind of thing about Keith Rowley, yeah? But whenever he speaks of Mrs. Prasad Bisesa, you know, he always does it with respect. He refers to her as Mistress Prasad Bisesa or Mistress Kamla Prasad Bisesa and so on. He doesn't go to the depths that she went to there to call him a donkey fool, right? And they laugh at that. Yeah, man, yeah. But they call Kamla whole name, and everybody in the UNC now uproar. Same members of the literati who sit down in the audience there and clap at that. They had issue. Yes, they're too disrespectful. Push back. If they disrespect the woman, was she supposed to sit down just so and take that? How was she disrespected? The same name that she keeps repeating now, every chance she get, that she was ashamed to repeat before. Oh, but it's great now, eh? Yes. And they go home and they tell the children, yeah. And add to that, they replayed that broadcast on I-95.5 yesterday. Right? They spend money to replay that. So people who, and I was on the road at the time, I was going to see a client yesterday, got out of my car, and where I parked, the neighborhood, the house that I parked opposite to, they had their radio on full blast on I-95, and they were listening to the program. And that's why I heard it. It was loud, eh? There were children in here. So children hearing the leader of the opposition calling the Prime Minister a donkey fool. What example she setting? Right? What example is she setting? That's not disrespectful. It's okay to call the Prime Minister a donkey fool. No outrage. None. Hypocrisy knows no bounds when it comes to that party. None whatsoever. That disgusting, you see, and that is why I will continue to call that party the ocean of deplorables. Politics is politics, fine. I didn't play another part of what she said. She was speaking about the Minister of Education. And she was saying, you know, the Minister of Education in Parliament on Friday, Anil, what you just call she again? Bundles. I don't know why that, yes, bundles. I don't know why it is they just call, she called this woman bundles. Really? Kamla? Really? The only person who refers to the Minister of Education as bundles is the man who she called on to ask, the dog liar, Anil Roberts. Right? This disgusting piece of filth is what he is. And the reason why she knows he calls the Minister of Education bundles is because she listens to his program. And she knows the context in which he refers to the Minister of Education as bundles. She knows he has been making accusations and insinuations that the Prime Minister is having an affair with the Minister of Education. And that the Minister of Education was with Foster Cummins and she was with this one and that one. The Minister of Education has, as far as I know, 2 daughters who attend, I think it's bishops, I'm not sure, right? 2 young daughters who have to be exposed to these miscreants, these rodents, these scum of the earth is what I will call them, making these nasty insinuations and allegations about their mother, right? 2 young ladies have to listen to that. Well, I suppose they don't listen to it. But when it is that you have a senator, a sitting senator, taking to social media to make these nasty and vile accusations, and you have his leader plain stupid, plain dotish, or maybe she's not plain. Maybe she wants the world to know that she's stupid or dotish, right? But you come in here playing, I don't know why it is that it's called this woman bundles. And you're referencing it because you know full well. So don't come to play smart with foolishness. You could do that for the members of your audience, the members of the literati, the waterfront ilk. Half of them or 3/4 of them who will sit down there probably don't even know what they came there for. But they're there, right? They waving flag and so what are they here for? Me you know now. Just like they down at the waterfront. So do you know what is being debated in the parliament? Everything good, everything good. Actually, now. Yeah, actually. Well, Mr. Hawaii from region so and so he bring us here. Here we come to support the Prime Minister. You even know the Prime Minister's name. Miss Kamala. They had a podium and tell you the Prime Minister name. But you're there. Right? Somebody needs to let Kamla Prasad Bisesa and the rest of the UNC know. Not everybody in this country is of the waterfront ilk. Not everybody. That is a title that is predominantly UNC. That belongs to you all. You all can keep that. But You all are going to the polls today in this rain, this rainy weather, to re-elect that disrespectful individual who, as I said before, had an issue with her entire name being called out, but has no issue, no problem with calling the Prime Minister, sitting Prime Minister, a donkey fool. Yeah? Nothing wrong with that. You can give me an example when Dr. Rowley would have referred to her in such a derogatory term. But the members of the literati who sit down listening now to this program, you all have no problem with that, right? But all you had a problem with your leader's full name being called out. Basket of deplorables. That this filth, and the reason why I have to make mention, Trinidad and Tobago, of this, I don't know, words escape me to describe Anil Roberts. The disdain that I have for this man, right, is that when you look at this filth, the amount of people sharing it, the members of the illiterati who see it fit to share that trash, every time he has this program, there's all kind of insinuation. If he ain't calling this minister gay and who wearing tight pants and all kind of thing, like he seems to have an obsession with some of the male ministers, right? There's the same man who the other day was telling us that he loves bananas. And I was asking him what kind of banana he like. If it is that you want to tell the world something, and don't hide, come out. You're not alone in that party. But I ain't gonna call no name. But if you call, I'm gonna whistle, right? Don't hide. But you're always making these nasty insinuations. And you are a sitting senator, a disgusting individual. You have no place in the Senate of Trinidad and Tobago with nasty mouth that you have. You and David Naked. But the woman who you all are going to re-elect today as political leader, yes, she put you there. She put Naked there. And it speaks volumes as to her poor judgment. But we already know of her poor judgment. The fact that she holds the record for having fired the most number of ministers of any prime minister in this country's history. That is her legacy. But you want to talk about Rowley's legacy? That is your legacy, madam. That was bolted to your chest. You had to fire more ministers than any other prime minister in this country's history. In fact, if we were to add up the number of ministers that were fired by all of your predecessors, it probably still wouldn't add up to the number that you had to fire. Again, speaks volumes with respect to your poor judgment and the people that you choose to foist on us, the right-thinking citizens of this country, to govern us. And that is what we have to contend with in 2025. The possibility, right, of that filth being returned to Parliament. And I'm not just referring there to Anil Roberts. The future of the UNC is just as nasty as the present. When you listen to some of them, liars, well-trained in telling lies, well-trained in propaganda. That's what they're good at. And you have people out there who are supposed to be right-thinking citizens propping up these people. Well, if for real, this is the nonsense that some of you all support. Talking about come down from there, Rowley, this Dotis song, come down from there. Well, hear what? We don't want Kamala to come down from there. Let Kamala stay right where she is. Right? Keep her on that lofty perch that you all have. In fact, go out in your numbers. Brave the weather today. Put on your parasol. Yeah? Your raincoat and whatever it is. Your galoshes. The big boots. Forget what they call those black rubber boots, whatever it is. And go out in your numbers and vote and put her back there. Please, do us that favor. Continue to demonstrate and to show this country who the real cult is. Which party is really the cult. Go and do that. Please. We need you all to do that. Not that we don't know. We already know that, but we just need you all to reinforce it so that when it is you all want to come and accuse the PNM of being a cult party, we could demonstrate conclusively to show you all why all you're talking nonsense and which party is really the cult. Whole slate, all you're going to elect and put them back there. But when your party is intellectually bereft, who are you going to put? The pussycat from Oropouche, the kitten from Oropouche, who always had plenty mouth on the platform. Why didn't he contest leadership like he did in 2015? So in 2015, after the loss, she was no damn good, according to him. Yeah. But he had no problem with her today, right? So apparently she has improved. Her political stocks, her political currency has appreciated in value in the last 7 years, Munilal? No, you're just like the other eunuchs in the UNC. No testicles, no cojones. But talking about the lion of Oropouche, you're only a lion when you're down there, papi. As soon as you cross the border, that's it. You're a kitten. Everybody sees you for what you are. Yeah? A kitten who is covered in biogen and waterworks dye. Your hair. Yeah, that's the only thing that resembles that is akin to a lion. You know, a lion's mane is always black. Yeah. That's why you always dye in the hair. All of them frayed gray hair. You wouldn't contest the leadership because you're petty. You're a coward. A yellow belly coward, Munilal. I give kudos to Fuad Khan, even though he don't stand a snowball chance in hell to win. But at least he put himself out there. He put himself out there to offer himself as an alternative for those, the very few right-thinking members of the UNC. Small in number, not too many of them, right? Who see Prasad Bisasa as the liability that she is. But I just felt I needed to play that to highlight for you all the hypocrisy, yeah? Hypocrisy of the UNC. She has no respect. That is your political opponent, fine. But you need to draw a line somewhere when it comes to respect. Because you're always talking about the children and the children and the children. What example are you setting for the children? You have that upstart Jayanti Lakshmi with the audacity to come and talk about, Foster Cummings and what example is he setting for the children, especially as he's Minister of Youth Development, and the issue of plagiarism. 15 years ago. 15 years, you know. Well, I have no problem with that for 15 years. All of a sudden, today is an issue. As if Foster Cummings was appointed Minister of Youth Development last week. Yeah? Almost 2 years now he's been that minister. But only now is an issue for you, right? I know he's setting a poor example for the children and the youth of the nation. But your leader, who put you there, coming to call the Prime Minister a donkey fool. Now, if a child go to school and call the teacher a donkey fool, what do you think gonna happen? But you know what? It's okay for the leader, the misleader of the opposition, the woman who is telling you she wants to be the next Prime Minister of this country, is calling the Prime Minister a donkey fool. Where is the uproar? If it was on the other side, if it was the UNC and Dr. Rowley had called Kamla Prasad Bisasa that, well, boy, crapo smoke with pipe. We go to the ads. We'll be right back.
Lately, yeah, I know that things been crazy, but here's what I've come to realize. When you really get your high, ooh, you just come alive, and you feel that feeling that's hard to describe. Oh yeah, so baby come down. Now I suppose we think till sundown. We go do what we want, anything. Oh, yeah. I think in my heart, on you rock, show me that way. And just let the music move you, boy. And you don't have to study nobody, baby. Can't keep doing what you like. But when you really pick you up, it won't let you down. We have a real good time when we jam it, come, baby. We'll be jamming, come, baby. And when it pick you up, can't get enough. When we can pick you up, can't get enough. Aye. Walk on the ways and jump on the bass one time. Aye. Wind me go, my time. Aye. Walk on the ways. Aye. Rise it up.
What is Apex? It is the pinnacle of high-performance vision through a lens. It's clarity, no matter what angle you look at. It's comfort, no matter what you do all day, every day. And it's customized with every digital measurement your eyes require to see at their very best. Apex Digital Lenses by Value Optical, the ultimate lens design for your eyes. Value Optical, expert care for your eyes.
Tobago, the best psychic astrologer is here. Spiritual healing and psychic reading. Visit the most powerful specialist, Pandit Surya. He can help with the issues of relationship, marriage, money, health, lotto, enemy, business, and job. He is the expert in bringing back loved ones, court matters, and any other matters. Get rid of evil, any negativity, voodoo, black magic. 100% result guaranteed. To book an appointment, call or WhatsApp us at 1-868-332-7116. That number again is 1-868-332-7116. Or visit them today. They are located at Pui Avenue, Milford Road, Bonaccord, Tobago.
Councillor for Monrepo Navet, Nigel Cotier presents Splash, Bubbles and Foam. Saturday, 9th July at Monrepo's grounds from 10 a.m. Splash, Bubbles and Foam. Lots of prizes to be won. Look out for the Councillor's Cup Small Goal. Register now by calling the Councillor's office at 610-2861. All teams must be registered. There is no registration fee. Splash, Bubbles and Foam. Saturday, 9th July, Monrepo grounds from 10 a.m. The football starts at 10 a.m. and the fun events will start at 3 p.m.
Trinidad, get ready for the grown folks affair, Sexy in White. Saturday, 2nd July at Rockback, the Anchorage Shagaramas from 10 p.m. till 4 a.m. DJs Clyde the Outlaw, Foreign Bass, and Ishmael the Demolition Man. Special guest artist, Colonel Roberts.
Yeah, it's your boy Colonel Pitch Roberts here, and it's all about Sexy in White, July the 2nd at the Anchorage. I will be there with all my songs, and I even touching some of my father classics as well.
Only medium coolers allowed. Get your tickets now at Crosby St. James, Sion's Beer Garden, San Fernando. For tickets and more info, call 375-2257 or log on to www.freeupal.com. Sexy in White, Saturday, 2nd July at Rockback, the Anchorage Shagaramas.
Join Pastor Kelvin Heinerine and friends for The Way, The Truth, The Life Radio Ministry, a Church of God ministry, live on the street 919 FM from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. This and every Sunday on the street 919 FM. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh to the Father except through me. John chapter 14, verse 6. For further information, contact 686-3845, 349-5178, or 342-7303.
If you're experiencing pain, constipation, headaches, poor blood circulation, high or low blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, swollen or darkened feet, come visit us at Health and Wealth Lifestyle, located at 73 Eastern Main Road, Barataria, opposite Eastern Credit Union. We at Health and Wealth Lifestyle offer a wide range of services. Come and experience our new 3D analyzer, which allows you to have a look inside your body. We also provide live blood analysis, iridology, ionic foot detox with foot soak and foot massage, aquatherapy, full body massage, and organic supplements on sale such as nano silver, nano zinc, body light, cold pressed sesame oil, and more. Health and Wealth Lifestyle, located at number 73 Eastern Main Road, Barataria, opposite Eastern Credit Union. For more information, call 275-8359 or 288-1108.
Join Nicole Huggins for Health and Wealth Lifestyle every Monday from 9:05 a.m. to 9:55 a.m. right here on the street 919 FM.
Hi, what's up, TNT? This is Wayne Johnson out of Brooklyn, New York. I always wanted to do something back home, and we're going to be doing our gospel segment on Mondays from 10 p.m. to 12 midnight. That's 10 p.m. to 12 midnight on 91.9 FM. Listen what I want you to do. Spread the word. Spread the word, TNT. Salvation, full and free. Salvation is for everybody. Mondays from 10 p.m. to 12 midnight. That's 10 p.m. to 12 midnight on 91.9 FM.
Tune in to the Street 919 FM every Friday from 9:15 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. with Kingdom Health Services, situated at number 125 Eastern Main Road in Tunapuna. For the program, Health and healing, merging the old with the new with Mr. Brent's Diet. For more information, call 318-7471 or 484-0141 or 360-4100. It's all about Kingdom Health Services on the street, 919 FM.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
How many have lost their jobs? You have children. As a parent, as an adult, there is nothing harder than a father going home to meet his wife and his children and to see and to know he has nothing to put a plate of food on the table for his family. You gave away all these jobs. You're not paying the workers there. And you make such a poor, pathetic excuse to say, Rowley says, if we have to pay the increased wages and the back pay, he will have to borrow billions of dollars. But Rowley, you donkey fool. Because if you were smart, if you had the competence, above all, if you had the care and compassion, you would not have waited 7 years for back pay to back up. You should have paid the money when it was due. So don't come now to cry crocodile tears that you had to borrow to pay this and you don't have money. You're finding money for forest buildings. You're finding money for paintings. So you could go through the list. You all know them. All the things you to pay workers so workers can support their families. And then you talk about back pay. I just told you that. I just shared. Think of it. It makes sense. If you were paying the people the money that was due to them, you will have no back pay backing up to back to pay. But you didn't care. Your job was a different job. It was none of care and compassion.
Where she wanted him to get the money from? Where you wanted him to get the money from? Perhaps if your thieving administration didn't take the exchequer account from 10 billion in overdraft to 33, maybe he might have had money he could have paid in the first 3 years. He would have had money, 23 extra billion, to pay back pay and pay increases in 2016 and 2019. If your thieving government didn't thief it out, right? How many people could I get back pay from that 53 million for the bill, they're paying rent for the building we can't find? How much back pay could I pay for the 125 million extra or so, 23 million extra that you all paid for Eden Gardens? Huh? How much back pay that could I pay like Sheila? You ain't study that. The 20 million for the happiness campaign, how much back pay that could I pay like Sheila? The $330 some odd million that you all spent for a whole warehouse up in Santa Rosa to say you're making prison to lock up young black men under your state of emergency. A building that Jack Warner said was offered to him for 17 million by the former owner, and he said nothing more than 15. You pay $280 million for it, and then you spend 50 million to outfit and so on. How much back pay that could I pay like Sheila? All the money that you all spent to outfit, the 120 million you spent to outfit One Alexandra Place, the 43 million extra in rent that you paid for 5 years, 3 months and 14 days, and not one public servant ever used that building. The $5 million you paid for security for 5 years. How much back pay that could I pay, like Sheila? You ain't studying that. The $6 million that you spend on helicopter ride because you allergic to traffic. Huh? when you had the Prime Minister's residence just 5 minutes away from your office. That building that was built at great expense. That is the official residence of the Prime Minister where you're supposed to live, but you insist you want to stay in Philippines and cost taxpayers $6.1 million in helicopter ride. How much back pay that could have paid, like Sheila? But you have mouth to come and talk Friday about, oh, if he had paid the money, it wouldn't have back and back up. You for real, like Sheila? The 15 million that you spent to go to carry all and sundry to India so you could bend down and kiss foot. How much back pay could that have paid, like Sheila? The money that we lost because you were giving out lands down in Shagarama so peppercorn rates. The money that we could have gotten in rent, like Sheila, how much back pay that could have paid so that Keith Rowley wouldn't have had to back and back up back pay, like Sheila? You ain't study that. The 10 US million that went in ketchup and hot dog to Guyana, like Sheila. The 11.1 million that you paid to Larry Hawaii so he could become Minister of Finance. How much back pay that could have paid, like Sheila? You want me to go on, like Sheila? You want me to continue to run the list? Like Sheila, the 9 million you all paid in rent for the building on Pembroke Street that never used. The 5 million in rent that was spent for the building on Frederick Street that never used, like Sheila. How much back pay that could have paid so that Keith Rowley wouldn't have no backup and back like Sheila? All them things you forget. Your memory short. Blasted hypocrite. You know, as I say, go out in your numbers and put her back right there as the leader of that party. Put her back right there. We don't want her to come down from there. Let her stay right up there. Keep her up on that pedestal that you all have there. Right there. So that she could be the standard bearer for the stupidity, the idiocy, and the hypocrisy that that party stands for. Ocean of deplorables. That's not got us anyway. 3420081 4665391. I've taken up enough of your time. Right? Let me get this here. Short memory, short-term memory, but all right. Anyway. Jen, morning.
Hi, morning, Dominic. Morning to all the callers and listeners. 91.9, Mr. Chance, Mother Tanapuna, Zina, Manu, Brother Sterling, Brian, but and the whole crew, everybody. Dominic, I'm not going to change the course so much because it still is dealing with Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa. Friday, when I watch the persons, the union leaders who are out there, and Ms. Kamla Prasad Bisesa in their midst, and they're all in solidarity with the letter to give to the Parliament a no confidence in Dr. Rowley. I watch it with disgust at these union men. I'll tell you why. Because they seem to forget that they signed a Faizabad Accord with that same lady and the UNC, and that not soon after, what's his name from MSG, David Abdullah, would have, in an article in the papers, he would have said that the signing of that was a farce, that it has since broken down. That's why MSG would have pulled away from that union. I continue. In 2008 to 2010, when we had that negotiation period, the CPO at the time offered 1%. The unions refused it and they went back again to the table and the CPO said 5%. Mr. Dukaran came out and said recently in an interview that he would have advised the cabinet at that time about that 5% because it was causing the government at that time, the TP government, double digit. And he said that is one of the factors led to the closure of Petrochin. But they offered 5%, and again the unions rejected that. And there was to be a big march because Roshan, they were saying they met with the Prime Minister at the time, Kamla Prasad Bisesa, and she told them, go back to the table and start with zero. So they went out on the street to march. While they were there outside marching, Ms. Kamala Prasad Bissessa, while she was standing in the House of Representatives, down when they were still at the waterfront, she would have said about Angel Roger, then marching, to say that he marched bus. And she went on to tell all in the House that Roger, when he was a foreman at Trinma, there was an incident where he exhibited gross carelessness and negligence in the execution of his duties that almost killed a colleague. And she said he attempted to bribe that same employee and colleague by offering him $300. And he also gave false testimony during an investigation into the matter. She said those were the findings in a Trinma audit report. Those are the things that Kamala Prasad Bissessa was saying about Roger. Roger in 2020 was saying that Kamala Prasad Bissessa, she tried to deal a fatal blow to the refinery acquisition. That is when they were trying to, OWT was trying to acquire the refinery. He went on to say in another interview that there is no evidence to support the opposition leader of UNC that the Paria Fuel Trading Company sold fuel to Venezuela. And you tell me after all these things, Mr. Ansel Roger is out there hand in hand with the same Kamala Prasad Bissessa who tell people in the parliament that he tried to bribe a co-worker because the worker nearly dead because of some incident with Roger when he was working. He tried to pay $300. The same Kamala Prasad Bissessa who all of them signed the fiber by accord with, that MSJ leader David Abdullah had to say that signing that was a fact. And the whole thing break down and MSJ pulled with itself. That is the same woman. Them standing up with it. I tell you, people have a saying that dog eat your vomit. Yeah, no shame, dog eat your vomit. Let me tell you something. Dog didn't even want Roger and them shame to eat. Them fellas and them low. They lower than the white line. Not because of the fact that they have no confidence in the Prime Minister, no. The fact is who they're joining with now to say no confidence. I want to tell all paying members of unions, if your union leader, the president, is one of them fellas, write a letter, no confidence in them because they're not seeking the interests of the members and the PSA president before I go. You ain't have the intelligence or the ability to bargain on behalf of the 40-something, 50-something, or 60-something thousand public officers. You may have it for 2,000 WASA workers. Because I understand, I don't know how true, you keep 2 meetings back to back, only for WASA workers. Because like you must feel, in my opinion, that you could save the job. That is a done deal. What you should be advising them, because you was the section president, chairperson of the section of it, make sure that they get a good package to go home when they get retrenched. But you're fighting at their out and beating at their out and you ain't interested in public officers out here at all. So you can't fight nothing for because you're getting $16,000 as a consultant in PSA to do the same negotiation and you never settle nothing. Well, you could settle now. Here's a imp and here's a backdoor president. I say so. And so Mr. Roger and them again, only and no shame. Dog must just watch all and shoot and walk away. But have a blessed one, Dominic, and it's always a pleasure. Thanks.
Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Dominic, remember the 34 million and we didn't even get a copybook?
Yes. Adolphus Daniel. Yes.
Yes. And the man is deceased now.
Yes.
Yes, and she said today, on today's paper, she and the union is going to work together to get rid of the PNM.
Oh gosh.
Okay, Dominic.
Thanks, Gemma. As they say, politics makes strange bedfellows. Her predecessor was willing to sleep with the devil. It seems like the union leaders ready to sleep. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to Dominic.
Good afternoon.
Great show as usual.
Thank you.
Usual. Good afternoon to Titans of Democracy or all the members. Dominic, the name she called our Prime Minister, what, a lying donkey?
A donkey fool.
Right, donkey fool. Good. No, let's assume that Dr. Rowley was on a platform and he said Susila Kuchila Camel. You know, tomorrow, that would have been making headlines on the papers where Dr. Oli disrespect her.
Yes.
Here, what I say is facts. The headline on all the papers would have been Dr. Rowley disrespect Kuchila Kamla Prasad Shushila Kuchila Abisasa. But you know, where she disrespecting, and you see, I having a problem. No, I am a PNN. It's only once I vote now, and it was in 86.
Yes.
Hear what I mean? The same way they have Moutal Joker, who scramble onto anything that PNM leaders say, the women's arm and this arm and that arm. PNM, what? So then, what she said there isn't any people in the PNM to make that something. No, I know PNM do like this set of British bacchanal.
Yes.
But the woman is very, very disrespectful.
Very disrespectful.
And she's a liar. And you see, Dominic, she knows we are a 1 week a retainance now, you know?
Yes.
She know that, She know that. Dominic, she know that. Dominic, the kind of thing this lady, she would say last week and say this week, she said, well, you misinterpret my diction. But she's a liar. Dominic, she lies a lot.
With impunity.
Dominic, that woman is the worst. And she and Donald Trump on the same page. I don't know if she loves his style or if he loves her style. Because now in America, the talk is on CCN. What Donald Trump is doing now, they say that never ever happened in the history of America, you know. You know, it's the first time this ever happened in America. And the same thing Kamala is doing here because, Dominic, I am 66 years, right? And all the opposition leaders that passed through here, Dominic, they never did what Kamala is doing now.
Yes.
Dominic, only because of power. And as Jenny had mentioned, Roger, boy, I don't want to call him a dog because I know a dog is a nice thing. But you see Roger and them, boy, I don't know what name to call him. Roger, he's a kind of camera too, but anyhow, I am calling from Iwer Princess Town.
Welcome.
All right, brother. Nice show.
Thank you. Yeah. You and see if it was Dr. Rowley had called her, that would have been up in arms. From a PNM brothers and sisters. Hello, good morning. Good afternoon, sorry.
Good morning, Dominic.
Greetings.
I love to tell you something, Dominic. You know, sometimes when a dog sick, he just vomit, and then he eats it back up.
Yes.
They wrote to them. Captains wrote to them. Whoever deal like up with the leader of the opposition. When they're done, she will eat them back up. They will be eating the vomit. That will happen to them. Cecilia, this woman in UE, the character, the behavior of such a lady in UE, if people go and take this, then beside that, Cecilia is a racist. Use racist comments to other people who in parliament with her. And then you want to lead a country. How can you tell me you don't like African people, but you want to lead a country where dominated by East Indian and African as the majority? How could a racist be a leader of a country and run a country fair and square? Now let me really examine this individual. Right? It seems like anytime you don't agree with she, to find a way to cut you, destroy your character. Look, this man right now, she keeps trying to destroy your character. They're always bringing up something, and when we do dig into the information is not where it's supposed to be. It is not what it's supposed to be. And it is just damaging to people's names. And they don't apologize. How could a leader sit down in a meeting and call the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago a donkey? And what will come out of that? The media will tell me like Tikong, Party Tikong, like where they will come and tell me.
Exactly
let it happen to be anyone of the PNM. Get that behavior. You hear men like Ramesh, the one who really know all the words that he has for that. You hear Dale and Tony coming out and calling them, it would not done today. But what bet? I will only get this discussion from you, Aisha, Google, and Charles Phillips. What bet we will hear nothing about this on I-95. That is the leader they are going to vote for today, you know. And you know why she does behave like that? Because she know no matter what, she have 19 safe seats. The PNM is the only party that doesn't start off with safe seats. They can put it however they want. It was proven years ago that the PNM do not have seats that they say was safe. Only the now PNM laws those seats, you know. When they thought that Jack Warner would have joined back with the UNC, they get Jack Warner the vote because they like Jack Warner back then. But from the minute Jack Warner refused to join back with them, what did they do? You have Section 34. You have email gate. You have prison gate. You have football fighting with the owner and game of black eyes. Coughing up his girlfriend in a car park. We have social development office and one sister who minister to somebody for the house to get a house in ETC for them. It could go on and go on and go on and need you and see a property will replace it $20 million and up $100 million. The rape NGC. They almost bankrupt this whole country. How could people tell me this could be the backup plan if you don't want PNM? Man, look for something different. But don't tell me you bringing back the same corrupted woman and corrupted party and a rubber stick part of the Senate today. And Lightfoot was one of the most corrupted, damaging things, and he's part of the Senate. What about the young lady who died on O'Connor Street? Everybody have an idea what went on there. And these people are before we today offering back up the service. Well, better we just make back AJ Amram Logan too. Better he come back the AJ too. Because we're bringing in people with damaging character. What's the next one in Tobago? So I tell you, we are putting people to be leaders and putting people to retrain them to look up where have damages to the name. We are not looking for people with good standing character to point out to my son or your daughter and say, hey, like you post I want you to be like. Have a blessed day.
Thank you, sir. Well said. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Hello. 236.
You?
Go ahead, I'm hearing you now.
Okay, all right. First, I was just complimenting, well, not complimenting, you look good in orange. I know you like to wear black, but you look good in orange.
Thank you.
Second thing, you didn't mention the hospitals that it came their own. Remember, they had it at millions of dollars, and the PNM did it for half the cost.
Correct, yes.
Right.
Yes.
Anorima Hospital, of course, was one of them.
Yes.
This we have to mention. Also, could you, bring Lauren Izama or the other guy, the PRO, onto the program? Because I find they are not aggressive enough in pursuing all these different lies that the UNC have out there.
Yes. Yes.
They should do something, some program, something on the newspaper to rebut all these things. Because people keep believing it.
Yes.
And some of the UNC people, I think they don't read papers, they don't look at the BBC News because the things that is happening out there with, I think in London right now, the taxi drivers are complaining no gas to ply their trade. So it's not unique to Trinidad. Ecuador, one of these countries now rioting because the country have collapsed. Dr. Rowley is trying now, with Foster Cummins, to get agriculture going. They're fighting to stop that program. UNC fighting to stop that program. But it is, why? Why? So you realize it's not for the love of country they're out there talking nonsense. It's about power. It's about power. Dominic, a good show. Thank you. Reach home safe. Bye.
Thank you very much, caller. Yeah. Hello, good afternoon. Brian.
Good afternoon to you, Dominic.
Greetings, sir.
And good afternoon to all the listeners and callers of 91.9. Dominic, boy, I am so ashamed to have been a member of the Oldfield Workers Trade Union back in my days when I was an employee of the company. I looked on in horror, in total disdain. I was, when you want to lift and your shoulders just drop and you just shake your head and you say, Lord, no. Dominic, I have to apologize to the country because I am ashamed to have been associated with the OWTU under Comrade Ansel Sellout Rouge. What it is that does he suffer from amnesia? He forgetting those days when he was in Woodford Square and Pushwati, Shulaya, Prasad, Bisesa, turned she back on him and leave him there and never even negotiated with his organization that he represented. He forgetting all of that. Does he believe because she whispered in his ears, don't worry, I will get the refinery, that he believe that he go get it? And she says she willing to work with which unions? It's hard, the head hard. It is an unadulterated crying shame that corrupt leader and an organization is for her to get back in power, Dominic, will be the death of Trinidad and Tobago. Will be the death, because if she ever should get back there, she going to ensure that she put all who she needs to put exactly where she needs to put. Just like what Donald Trump did with the Supreme Court. Look at what's going on in America today. You understand? That women coming out to march now.
Yep.
Because of the removal of the law since in the 70s. Look at what he has done. He's not even in power. And look at the power he is wielding when he's not even there. What the hell? People forgetting, Dominic, when PNM got in power in 2015, the then governor of the central bank, I heard people say, I listened to the news a while ago, he won the case, and remember for Cooper South saying that is an indictment on this government. Listen to me, we knew he was going to win his case, and to pay here $175,000, which is the balance of his salary, ain't no big thing. Better he out than in, because he was never good for this country. You could watch the Minister of Finance and tell him you only have 3 days pay, otherwise if you don't find money, go shut down the country. People forgetting. I'm not talking about they should have pay the increase in salary 7 years ago, and so they won't have 7 years of back pay to pay. 7 years ago they took out loans, 3-month loan, 6-month loan, 9-month loan that had to be renegotiated. we had a $5 billion payment back pay that was due immediately to them same public servants that was due because due to what they did and they didn't pay it. And by law, this government, when they came in, had to find money to pay it. And they only had 3 days pay, 3 days of money. And up at that time, the recurrent expenditure under the UNC was $4.75 billion a month. It has only now come down to under $4 billion because of the astute things that were done under this government to bring it down. But UNC was a runaway horse and it was backing up and they were just taking loans. Who you think had to pay back the loan? And now we're talking about tax, no taxes, no money coming into this government. Where the hell they going to get the money from? It's borrow, they have to borrow. And if people have listened to Marlene Atz on another frequency yesterday, she indicated the way that the unions should really go. She gives some advice. It's not all about money, because the money going to disappear and evaporate due to many, many things. Because we like to spend when we get money, and inflation and all of these other things. She spoke about that yesterday. And people just ain't cared. Rosie, them ain't cared talking about 2%, 3%, 4%, 5%, 10%, 25%. Where the hell they getting enough money from? Rosie, them can't do maths. That's why he could never have gotten a refinery. He can't run nothing. He can't run the old WTU because they have no money. And Kamala Prasad left $500,000 in the Prime Minister residence in alcohol there. I want to ask her where that come from. She said, "Oh, ask me, ask the permanent secretary. Spend. Have a good time. Fete, travel, lease plane." When she carry her son to Brazil to watch World Cup, she carry any security? Who pay for that? The way they never ask her that question. They can't find her to ask she no question. But they could find Foster. They could find Minister AGR Moore. They could find everybody to ask her such a question. But they could never find her. They could never ask them no question. No, they not to ask question. They was waiting to spread propaganda, and everybody take that and they run with it. And the newspapers, the bought out and the sold out media, run with it. And that's it. That's news. That is news. And it's a crying shame. I am telling all you, as I said before, there's somebody who calls in here and says, Trinidad and Tobago people, all you wake up, you know. Wake up and get up off all your lazy backsides and go out there and vote this year and in 2025, you know. Our country depends on us to do the right thing. If we don't, we will suffer for it. Not we, but our children and our children's children will suffer. I'm talking about the children and these poor children that Kamala Prasad has to leave children to be raped. In 1997 and again when she was in power between 2010 and 2015, when she had the power to do something for all those homes, she did absolutely nothing and left those people there to take advantage of the same children she's talking about today. She did nothing. What she was studying what she sells, but fixing she palace, finishing it off, and helping she friends and family. She has nothing to offer this country today nor tomorrow. And she could go to hell as far as I'm concerned. Yes, go to hell, Pushwati. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brian. Before I take this next call, let me just also give Laishila another reminder as to why it is Dr. Rowley couldn't pay back pay for the last 7 years. Listen to Makandal Daga, right? Listen.
I said you ought to give it out independent results. People are stealing money as if they invented it. As if it's their right to peace.
Right, I remind Sushila, that wasn't Makandal Daga talking there. This was in the first year of office. The first year, right? They barely made a year yet. And here I said there, I have never seen so much thieving in all my life. People are stealing money like they invented it, like it's your birthright to thief. He wasn't talking about the PNM. No. He, Makandal Daga, who only put as ambassador to White House CARICOM or whatever it is, he was part of that, the partnership, and he is telling you, in the first year in office, people thieving like if they invented it. Thieving money like they invented it. So if this was in the first year, you think it got better in the next 4? Huh? All of a sudden they got a conscience in the last 4 years and decide, okay, we thief enough? That, like Sheila, is why Keith Rowley couldn't pay and back up for the past 7 years. Hello, good afternoon.
Dominic, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear. Go ahead.
That was a guy named Brian who talked here just now. That's the name.
Yes, that was Brian.
I listened to him during the week on Sharon Felix's program. But right now, I ain't going to say nothing about that. When I go tell you. Dominic, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Dominic, Dr. Rowley and the former Prime Minister, they can't stand each other. Every time you hear them, they're going at each other jugular. Dominic, how come the both of them came as one to go after what Mr. Manning left there? How come? Or let's see how they can work together. You hear Kingsley tell earlier, after they make all their bacchanal in the parliament, they just meet in the corridor, in the kitchen, blah, 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 shaking hands, talking nice. They know each other. Dominic, Dr. Rowley and the former Prime Minister, they got a good thing going on. Mr. and Mrs. Jones. Dominic, I will leave it there.
Thank you, leave it there. But you see this perception people have that when they're in parliament, they're one way, and then when they're in the tea room and in the corridor and whatnot, they're different. I could tell you, for a fact, that ain't the case. That ain't the case, right? I am certain that that is not the case. Hello, good afternoon.
Dominic.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Lever, there is a joke, you know, boy. That man has really listened to himself when he come on the radio to me have a discussion. Who you want to attack, Brian? Brian has come with information, proper information. And when Brian speaking, he knowledge, he does make you learn something. Leave it to them, don't learn anything. What's wrong with them? Why them trying to attack men like, you can't attack men like Brian, the guru. You can't attack these people. You come with nothing there. You really didn't say anything. But you're trying to attack the gentleman, and the gentleman coming with good facts. Even though you want to have a discussion, at least come with something to be getting. You come in to tell me about Dr. Rowley and Patrick Manning. Patrick Manning going anywhere and he resting his soul. What is wrong with all here? We talking about the behavior of an opposition leader. You didn't even touch on that. This woman has been behaving with some damaging character and terrible behavior. And before they pull up and she should check herself. You come in to tell me about, oh God, boy, I don't know, boy. I don't know all that in my days. We had roti, Dominic. A plate of roti was valued at almost $5,000 a plate of roti back then. You remember that, Dominic?
Yes.
A plate of roti was valued about $5,000. That's why the country ended up in so much corruption and so much... boy, what them really trying to tell us? we can bring back these people here to run this country. You think it will get any better? All right, you have a woman, and right through this woman only kicking. And you will take this woman and move back in the house. If she go stop kicking, then them coming back to rape this country and think this country more again. NGC was almost, they almost milk out NGC. But we had an housing was corrupt on we call him this Munilal guy and the same jailings and all they're talking about till matters in the court today. But I'm telling I tell all the evening people they don't like the BNM. Find the next party, brother. Support the next party and don't tell me you're going with Watson you. Because you're wasting time. Have a bless.
And Dominic. Good day, Dominic. Hello?
Yes, sir. Greetings.
Yeah, good morning, Dominic.
Greetings.
Angry this morning. Kamala Susila Prasad Bisesa, the opposition leader, Madam Hypocrisy, that Genie Garaha, who was against family planning and came up with a $500 baby grant, then children life fund. I feel that was reparation for abortion in the past. So that part of the donkey she watching, she could preach Peter or Paul. That an office, she not getting a gun.
Thank you, sir. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Hello. I guess he didn't realize he was on air. Hello, good afternoon.
Okay, Madam, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, sir, good afternoon.
How are you going?
I am good, man.
You short out some water, man, your business, sir.
Yeah.
Loving the house, I call up from back for way.
Yes.
I love the same program. I'm a call up from the street, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, so, Dominic, what's going on by politics and don't know.
Yes.
You would believe me how powerful England is, you know? Yeah. Imagine I live in the circular constituency, which is St. Patrick's Park, so yeah.
Yes.
And board fresh away. One is great entertainment, to my Prime Minister, Mr. Chief Christopher Rowley. Good afternoon to you, sir. If you listen, but Dominic, Governor House says.
Yes, man. All the time.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Anyway, Dominic, I listen. I still want to listen. And interesting, man. Interesting.
Yes.
Anyway, I've been fired as a PNM in the UNT area, right?
Right.
I work at CPAP, right?
Mm-hmm.
I lost my job Friday ago because imagine UNC controls CPAP in fact 4 years. I lost it. This number, Precious load this number in her. Precious and Robert, good afternoon. And I'm heavy. And the red man, he more than peace. Okay, I'm a call. I'm Mr. Iwer George. Thank you very much for giving me a little try in this station, sir. Yeah, so Dominic, they were playing a song. Play a song for me now, right? Play a black
Me no bad mind nobody yet. Yeah, boy, brother, I go on there.
Yes, man.
Thanks for taking my call, sir.
No problem.
Love you.
All right.
You know, Mr. Tamla,